Hey, this is Friday.
Yeah, we missed last Friday because we were playing.
Yes.
Actually, we were arguing because we actually went off.
Oh, that was
we went off for a fun day, and then it started off really nice.
Yeah.
And then somebody wanted donuts, and it didn't happen. And we made a turn and ended up coming back into town. We'd actually gone up to the Mount Hood area and spent the night, which was really beautiful to get away. And I got to have ice cream, which was nice.
Always true, yeah.
Ice cream and chocolate. So, but anyhow, today is Good Friday, and we want to pass along the concept of He is risen, and He is risen indeed. And just the whole idea of rolling the stone away come Easter Sunday, we thought would be a perfect segue to kind of talk about rocks. So if you kind of see behind us, we're sitting on a pile of rocks out in the middle of a farmyard, and we had to talk to a guy saying, can we sit in your farmyard and sit on some rocks? He goes, yeah, sure, go ahead.
We've gone to some crazy places to make a point.
Well, we've, many times when we go out of town to do a seminar, it's always an adventure to find rocks to drop in, into one of our illustrations that we do. If you'd like that, then give us a holler. We'd love to come and see you in your area to talk about rocks. We got rocks in our head, but we also use that in an illustration when it comes to step families and their disposition, especially co-parenting. So what are the rocks about, Brenda? What do you got?
Well, today the rocks we're talking about have to do, this goes for any relationship, especially marriage, whether it's first-time marriage, second-time marriage, but we kind of learned about this in your counseling. Did we learn about this in your counseling training?
Yes, we did. Dr. Manick explained the rocks to us.
So rocks, well, you're the expert. You go ahead and I'll follow
you. I actually wanted you to do it because I thought I wanted to see what you say.
Yeah, so you can correct me.
No, I can laugh at you that way.
Okay. Okay, I'll take a shot at it.
Yeah, go for it.
So when two people are in a relationship, I guess we'll just call it marriage, but it couldn't really be any relationship. Sometimes there's stuff that gets between us. We've talked about the wall in the past where, walls can come up and divide us. We reframe the walls so that the wall's out here to protect us.
Yeah, they're good so far.
Yeah, so the rocks can be stuff that comes between us that starts piling up. Like
being rejected.
Yeah.
Being jealous.
Feeling abandoned.
Dishonesty.
Maybe stuff that we don't even talk about with each other.
Pornography.
Yeah, that's a good one. Gambling.
Overeating.
Yeah,
because I'm supposed to be on a diet, but that could be a rock. We had kind of a semi-argument about that this morning.
You're really going to go there?
Yeah, I was.
Well, that's not a rock, I would say.
It could be.
I guess it could be.
Yeah, because I thought at first you were really frustrated with me, but then I found out that I was misthinking that.
Yeah.
So these rocks behind us represent actually division. And some of these rocks you put on the pile, and some of the rocks I put on the pile. But when we put those rocks on the pile together, we have division.
Yes.
It breaks the connection, it breaks the attachment.
Yeah.
And the practicality of these rocks become really heavy issues that if piled upon, now the rocks behind us are actually dry stacked. They don't have any concrete on them. So the ability of moving the rocks is far easier, provided how heavy it is.
Or taking them out
Taking them out and moving them up to the side.
So give an example of how someone would take a rock out of a wall or a pile that's between us.
So the rocks, to take them down, would be maybe an act of confession. Hey, I've got an issue. That act of confession potentially would then be followed by forgiveness. Or acknowledging, hey, I've got a rock here that's really separating us, and I need some help to remove it. So sometimes some of these big rocks behind us might take both of us to move it, and some of them might be, hey, it's your rock, you need to move it, and I acknowledge that that's hard for you.
Right.
And how can I help you, rather than get ticked off because it's your rock and it's in my way.
Right. That's good, because if there's a rock that's between us, we've been talking a lot about this lately. So many times we hear in the counseling, coaching arena that one person in the couple will say, "Well, I think everything's fine. It's your problem, and we don't need to get help." And you know what? If I've got a problem in the relationship, it's your problem
Then
too.
I got a problem.
Yeah, the whole thing we always say, you win as a team, you lose as a team.
lose as a team.
It's like you can't have it that way, because if one person is unhappy in the relationship, you're both responsible for it.
Well, if one person is unhappy and I'm happy-go-lucky, then basically your head is in the clouds, or my head's
Your
in
head's
the clouds.
in the clouds, yeah.
And then I'm not being respectful, nor kind, nor loving. I'm actually being an idiot.
Yeah, and that's a huge rock that comes between us.
And it's my rock, and I don't even realize it.
Right.
And that
right.
causes a lot of tension.
Mhm.
A lot of tension. So the rocks, on the other hand, now dry stack is one thing. You can take them off pretty well. But if these rocks, kind of pan again real quick, if these rocks were covered with concrete,
Ooh, yeah.
we got even a bigger problem.
Yeah.
Because the concrete represents distortion, emotions, anger, resentment. You get the point?
It just cements everything
It just
together.
cements it together. And the only way to bust that up is to have a softened heart, which then may lead to acts of repentance. I have wronged you and I've hurt you. And now I have to confess the fact that that's what I've done. Is that really what I want to do with my mate?
Well, it's scary, especially if you don't have a safe place to do that. And that's why that
Oh.
safety is so important that we
Right.
talk about, because I want to be, let's say you have something to tell me, I want to be a safe enough place so that when you share it, I don't attack you or I don't get defensive, because how is that going to benefit the team?
Yeah.
That's what it gets down to.
So here's a rock.
Mm-hmm.
You name it.
Ooh, yeah.
Because how do I know what I'm dealing with if I don't name it? Now, I may have unconsciously or consciously thrown this rock on the pile, and now I've just caused more division. But for me to reach back and grab that rock off and go, you know, that's my rock that I threw on there to where I held a grudge and unforgiveness toward you for telling me to pick up my socks or not to have that extra brownie. That really ticked me off. But it's my deal, and
Yeah.
I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to apologize for my crummy attitude and lay it down. Please forgive me, because that hurt you. This other big rock behind us may actually be a matter of distrust, and we both may have to get up and push that rock out of the way together as a team. How do we do that?
Well, and you may need some help. There's nothing wrong with calling a coach or a counselor in your area or a third party to help kind of break that stuff up, to give you perspective and ask you some tough questions.
Hey, a third party could be like an excavator.
Ooh.
You know, maybe we need to call in somebody who can move, you know, like with one of those Tonka truck things, you
Yeah,
know?
I'm sitting on a rock. It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right?
So, you know, maybe the excavator is
That's good.
the aspect of really getting somebody in there who knows how to move the rocks. And that could be somebody who, like you said, could be a third party.
Well, and by moving that rock, you both win.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whose rock it is. That's irrelevant. And that's the beauty of it, is the marriage wins when that rock's out of the way.
Well, and I think that's the point of back to what we had talked about on one of the podcasts, 1 + 1 = 3. It's that big fancy word of intersubjectivity. And if that intersubjectivity, which is our marriage, don't we want a rock solid marriage, not a rock solid division? So all these rocks behind us, actually, rather than building a pile of division behind us, if we take the rocks and level them out together, that's going to be a lot of work, and it might be painful, but that's actually going to bind us together more. And then we not only have this rock path, but now we can actually use it as decorations and a reminder of what we went through to break that down, and use it as adhesiveness, as a memorial of what we did to build a great marriage, not just for us, but the sake of a testimony in the world, and for our kids, and the legacy of all that. I think is just, you know, what are you going to do with your rocks? Are you going to let them sit there and pile up and grow moss on them? And
You know what, though? A lot of people settle for doing that.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
such a waste. I mean, life's too short.
Yeah. So I guess the question to you here on Good Friday is, what are you going to do with your rocks? Don't let them be in your head. Don't let them come between you.
Yeah.
But roll them out of the way. And if those rolling acts and picking them up with the excavator and getting them off the wall and getting them off of the pile takes an act of forgiveness or confession or admitting that you were wrong or that you were wronged and that you got hurt by your spouse, then...
Or you could have been wronged by family of origin stuff or somebody at work, I don't know, and you're taking it out on your spouse. To be able to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to be there for each other and encourage each other and support each other. Well, anyway, we had a phone call in between all that.
Yeah, yeah. Interruptions to
we
dealing
don't know all
with
this
your rocks.
technology, we're just shooting and sharing. You know, I don't...
So all things considered, I just want to conclude with this thought. That if you're dealing with a lot of division and you really don't understand what it is that's causing the problem, it's a good chance that you've got rocks that you've piled up and maybe you're responsible for some of them, maybe you're responsible for some of them, but together as a team, we can remove them, build a path, and then actually bring glory to God with a marriage that's really rocking for Him. Yeah. Isn't that a play on words? So, you want to say anything else?
That's all I got.
That's all we got.
Yeah.
Okay. He is risen.
He is risen indeed.
We'll see you next time on our Friday videos, and check out web podcasts and all that jazz. And okay, it's Easter weekend. Isn't there some like Easter bunny chocolate rabbit thing to eat too? I happened to see that you bought a chocolate rabbit and you didn't share.
No, it's not a rabbit, it's an egg.
You didn't
I
share.
had a craving for...
You didn't share with me.
Oh, you're right. It's out on the counter, though.
Yeah, you just ate most of it.
Okay, we're going to sign off because we have to go figure out this rock if it's a chocolate bunny.
Yeah, it's a chocolate bunny. Okay.
Blessings. If you ain't got the marriage.
You ain't got nothing.
Take care. Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.